Hi, everybody, and welcome back as always. Thanks for spending a little time with us. It's Tuesday. What a beautiful Tuesday it's been. The 24th day of September. And if you do a little quick math, less than a week to go until October, and things are really going to start to change really quickly from thereafter. Let's not focus on that too much. Let's talk about the near term. This beautiful weather that we have been getting spoiled with is going to take a day off tomorrow. The system rolling in, combining with some moisture from the Gulf, is going to give us a rainy hump day. But we're going to recover quite nicely. We'll see sunshine and temperatures in the upper 70s roll for a few days thereafter. Got a nice weekend in store and a cool down starting off next week with still some sunshine above. Not a bad forecast. Tomorrow will give us all a little break from the sunshine, though. We'll talk about it in more detail. A couple of reports from the Johnson County Sheriff's Department. Some very mature marijuana confiscated. Also, an auto accident to report. A teenager airlifted last night in McGoffin County from the Harold Whitaker Middle School football game. A teenager not involved in the game, mind you. And we'll talk about an auto accident here in Sagersville. I've got some other news, and I've got one for you hunters and outdoorsmen out there all day. I was going to post it on Facebook and put a little teaser on it. Just simply been swamped here at the office, and I just haven't even had time to do that. Just let's suffice to say that you'll want to tune in and see what a local hunter bagged with his bow, of all things. We'll get to that in more detail in just a few moments. First, a quick follow-up and update. I only had brief details, as is often the case with initial press releases from the Kentucky State Police about the middle school student in Elliott County who was charged with a crime yesterday after bringing what police referred to as, now we understand, an antique simulated hand grenade. This was not an explosive device, mind you, but used for training purposes, as we were told by the military. We knew that yesterday. We also knew that the Kentucky State Police from Post 8 in Moorhead says they got the report shortly before 11 yesterday morning from the Elliott County Board of Education after they had been alerted to a possible explosive device in the middle school of the school district. They later learned that it was a non-explosive World War II era training grenade. The school was not evacuated. There was no danger to pose to any students or staff or faculty. No one was injured, but the student was charged with unlawful possession of a weapon on school property. The student's age and identity, of course, has not been listed, but it is all still under investigation by the Kentucky State Police. A couple of things from neighboring Johnson County before we go any further. First off, a vehicle overturned in a single car crash and a tip that led to some significant marijuana being seized. An auto accident that goes back to last Thursday from the Johnson County Sheriff's Department, says Dwayne Price, proves a couple of things: that individuals overcorrecting when they drop off the side of the roadway or become distracted possibly is a major cause of accidents, and that seatbelts certainly do save injuries and lives. Case in point, this accident on Kentucky 172 in Red Bush last week, a 99 Durango being operated by 31-year-old April Maynard of West Liberty overturned on 172 while she was traveling east and ran off the roadway. She overcorrected, causing the vehicle to cross the center line and strike the embankment on the westbound shoulder. The vehicle then flipped and rolled twice before landing, as you see here, in the westbound lane. Maynard was able to exit the vehicle on her own due to the fact that she was wearing her seatbelt. Paintsville EMS and the Red Bush Fire Department responded to the scene, and Maynard was deemed to have received only minor injuries. She refused transportation on the scene by EMS, but she did go to the hospital by private vehicle at a later time. And while it's a little hard to make out because of all the green in the photographs, this is some very mature marijuana that was seized by the Johnson County Sheriff's Department. Price says that he received information of a possible marijuana grow just off of US 460, and James River Cole provided a helicopter to the Sheriff's Department to use to search for the illegal weed. And once the air search was completed, a follow-up ground search was conducted of a wooded area behind a residence. The search resulted in 7 marijuana plants being located and a search warrant being issued at the home. A search of the residence yielded more marijuana as well as drug paraphernalia. The names have not yet been released. The case will be presented to the Johnson County Grand Jury for indictment. Sheriff Price also would like to remind everyone that the residents of Johnson County are literally the department's eyes and ears in the community. And you can contact the Sheriff's Department at 789-3411 anytime you have any information of illegal activity. And as always, you can remain anonymous. In other area headlines, judges who sit on the Federal Court of Appeals have upheld the $250,000 fine and 2-year prison sentence of former Breathitt County School Superintendent Arch Turner. His attorney arguing in appeals court that the fine was deemed unreasonable by Turner and his attorney, and that U.S. District Judge Karen Caldwell didn't go by the proper procedure when she issued the punishment while sentencing Turner last November. While the guidelines in the case referred to a sentence time of 1.5 to 2 years in prison and $4,000 to $40,000 in fines, the judge, however, didn't see it that way and instead sentenced him to 2 years in jail and a $250,000 fine, the maximum that she was allowed to do per Kentucky law.
And it was the fine that Turner was appealing, asking it to be overturned and not his prison sentence. But going back to the time of his sentencing, Judge Caldwell at that time referred to Turner, calling him fearless and cynical in abusing his position of authority, leading a scheme to buy votes in the May 2010 primary, holding jobs over heads of people throughout the community, him being responsible for giving out money to buy votes, planning the meetings and organizing them to buy votes, threatening individuals who didn't go along with his scheme, and also lying to or misleading the FBI, and coercing others to lie or mislead the FBI or the federal grand jury. The appeals court, however, sided with the judge, and this Friday ruled that Judge Caldwell did not improperly consider Turner's wealth and status in setting his fine of $250,000, which stands. We'll be right back with local headlines after this. Faster, friendlier, family-owned Parkway Pharmacy, open 8:30 till 6:30 Monday through Friday in the new McGoffin Medical Plaza under the care of local pharmacist Jesse Rudd. To make Parkway Pharmacy your pharmacy, come by or give us a call at 349-4400. They just keep coming. New and incredible flavors of your favorite ice cream treat. And now they've done it again with the chocolate-covered cheesecake blizzard at your Sayersville Dairy Queen. Creamy cheesecake pieces, rich cocoa fudge, decadent choco chunks, and creamy vanilla soft serve make your new blizzard of the month. And if that's not enough, just for September, buy one blizzard, get another for just 99 cents. That's right, 99 cents at your Sayersville DQ. 170s, 500, 570, 800, 900s, 2 seats, 4 seats, Razors, Rangers, and XPs in the hottest colors with the coolest accessories with the best financing available and rebates up to $1,000 at Connelly's, Kawasaki, and Polaris of Paintsville. Check out our daily specials that get even better after 4 p.m. only at your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe. Wednesday's special is a 3-piece dinner with 2 homemade sides and a biscuit, $5.99 for a breast thigh and a leg, or $4.99 for a leg, thigh, and a wing, and you can take $1 off of both after 4 p.m. only at your Sayersville Lee's. Sayersville Nursing and Rehabilitation Center is proud to announce the newest members of our family, Administrator Lane Jones and our full-time chaplain Mark Campbell and volunteer Richard Green, new faces with the same sincere desire as these, to assist you and your family with short-term rehabilitation solutions or long-term nursing care needs, close to home and those that you love. Sayersville Nursing and Rehabilitation.
At the end of every race, Mark Martin hangs up his driving gloves. He hangs up his fire suit. And he hangs up his helmet. Which is why he picks up his phone and opens the ER Extra app. The app shows ER Extra wait times, locations, and more. It's the one safeguard Mark Martin is never without. ER Extra at Paul B. Hall Regional Medical Center. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
A couple of calls of emergency since I saw you last. We'll go back to last night where local emergency personnel were called to a teenager who had been seriously injured at the Harold Whitaker Middle School football game. Not a player in the game, mind you, but a spectator in the stands who was seriously injured during a fall.
Very early this morning at a still foggy intersection of Route 7 and the Mountain Parkway, I've not been told by authorities that the fog had a role in the accident one way or the other, but nevertheless 2 cars did collide during a very busy time of commute in an area, of course, where a lot of individuals are going to school and or work. The Mountain Parkway at this particular location in Route 7 has often been a scene of such accidents in the past. In this morning's incident, the juvenile was traveling in a 4-door Mercury sedan when that vehicle collided with a small Chevrolet SUV that you see here. In the small SUV, and Angela Kennard, we are told, was traveling. We're under the assumption at this time, per police statements, that she was in the vehicle by herself. She was taken to an area hospital by ambulance for what appeared to be non-life-threatening injuries. As for the young man, a juvenile who was behind the wheel of the other vehicle, he did refuse medical treatment at the scene. The accident was worked, I believe, by Sayersville City Police Officer Mike Nichols. Responding was Transtar Ambulance Service, the Sayersville Fire Department, and the McGoffin County Rescue Squad. Members of most of which also responded to an accident last night at the Harold Whitaker Middle School football game. Play was suspended while a helicopter landed and a landing zone established adjacent to the field was used to airlift a local 13-year-old to a trauma center for the severity of his injuries that he suffered during a fall. It's my understanding that he was jumping from the ramp, a section of which you can see behind the ambulance, but more to the right and off of your screen. I'm told that instead of coming down the ramp, he was jumping off of the ramp and into the direction of where the concessions are sold underneath a tent. When his leg or something, a piece of his clothing or an article of clothing, his shoes, something got caught and he fell. He fell on one of his arms and seriously broke and fractured both bones in his lower arm and wrist area, nearly protruding through the skin. It was deemed that attention would be needed from a trauma center, and thus an Arrow Medical Unit was called. It landed here, and as you can see, in the practice field nearby. He was transported for those injuries and was to undergo surgery possibly as soon as today. Once again, not an accident involving a player on the field. Now, I've still got other top stories, including one for all of our hunters and outdoorsmen out there. You'll want to see what this guy bagged with a bow yesterday morning, I guess it was. He was on his way to the taxidermist today, and I'll show you what he had on the back of his truck. Before we get to that, we've got to get to tonight's community calendar, though, brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. A reminder from the McGoffin County Health Department, it's time to get your flu shot. I know it's not something you want to think about, maybe not something that you enjoy doing, but it's time to get your flu shot. So get your flu shot. You can do so as of today at the McGoffin County Health Department, and from this point further, you can do so during normal operating hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 till 3, Tuesdays, 8 till 5, and then Fridays, 8 till noon at the McGoffin County Health Department. Now, this is, of course, for everyone 19 years and older. They accept private pay and most insurance. To find out more, call 349-6212. The sooner you get it, the better. Now, I've got a few other announcements that I'm going to read through. We have, for the past week and a half, undertaken a few projects here at the newsroom. We're installing some new equipment, rewiring some others, kind of an overall overhaul inside and out of the newsroom all at one time. And that's left me a little short-handed. But most of those have come to completion as of today for the most part. So I'll get back to having everything typed in and for you on a normal schedule tomorrow. But just let me remind you that the Community Free Will Baptist Church in Route 40 is having a big one-day yard sale next Tuesday, which is, can you believe it, October the 1st. I'll remind you about it next week, but they're having a big yard sale. They're on Route 40, 2 miles east of Sayersville, the Community Free Will Baptist Church. Our Sayersville Grade School has an advisory council meeting set for this Thursday, 1:30. The meeting will be held in the school's conference room. And from the Stinson United Baptist Church, if rain prevents them from having the picnic and gospel sing Saturday, it's going to be Sunday after church. I'll remind you about that. And also, we'll be talking the rest of this week about the 2013 annual Hog Roast and Soup Bean Dinner and Auction, a major event and fundraiser hosted by the North McGoffin Volunteer Fire Department. It is this Saturday. This is a big event for the department and the community. So I've got all that to talk about for the rest of the week. I still got McGoffin County Board of Education, Sayersville City Council meeting coverage to get to, and Chuck Lewis is set to take his final steps tomorrow into Washington, D.C. in the Veterans Monument on his trek across this nation, walking more than 3,000 miles, pushing his cart along the way, and, of course, making that very special stop here in Sayersville. I've already got a call into him. We'll be checking in with him tonight with himself and hopefully some of his family, and I hope to have an exciting report for you tomorrow on that very topic. With that said, here are tonight's funeral service announcements, of which we have one this evening, a partial announcement right now that's been forwarded to us on behalf of the McGoffin County Funeral Home, who of course sponsors our funeral service listings each and every weeknight. The listing that we have this evening is in honor of 87-year-old Mitchell Rife of Ashland, Kentucky, formerly of McGoffin County, who passed away on today's date at the Cabell Huntington Hospital. The McGoffin County Funeral Home tells me that arrangements are incomplete at this hour, but to be announced soon. And we'll have those for you just as soon as they are released. Once again, 87-year-old Mitchell Rife, formerly of McGoffin County, but from Ashland, who passed away on today's date.
Hi, I'm Don McFarland. I'm an attorney in Sayersville, Kentucky. I'm here to serve you and meet your legal needs. If your family or loved ones get in trouble, or if trouble comes to your door, then it's always good to have a friendly face that you can call on. So please, give me a call. I've been here my entire life. I was born here. I was raised here. I grew up here. I have a family here. I've been practicing law here in Sayersville since 1994. So when you have times of trouble and times of pain, then pick up the phone and call Donald Wayne. 349-9000.
Regardless of the project, big or small, inside or out, Bailey's Carpet has your next job covered with service after the sale on Husqvarna and Red Max power tools and equipment. You covered with great deals on boots and clothing by Georgia, Red Wing, and Carhartt, and your floors covered with premium materials at low prices from Bruce, Armstrong, and more at Bailey's Carpet and Hardware in Salyersville. Before you call anyone else, call Asphalt Paving Company, APC, for a list of local and area paving jobs that they've done and still look great after 15 or 20 years, and for an estimate on your blacktopping project. Driveways, parking lots, residential or commercial. APC has a 10-year guarantee, decades of experience, and a reputation for using the best materials to pave, resurface, seal, or stripe your property. APC, 859-983-6433. Stop by to see how, with a guaranteed trade-in, you can drive off in this gorgeous 2011 Hyundai Sonata for $17,950 or $299 a month, or how to drive off with a little soul for $12,950 or $235 a month, or how to drive off with a lot of style in this Dodge Ram Daytona at $15,950, all at Premier Motors in Paintsville. Right now inside Fraser's Prater Drugs seasonal shop, absolutely the biggest selection of fall decor and colors in the region. Maple City pottery, in stock or available for order, personalized any way you would like, preserved jars and utensil holders and more. New designs by Just Millie, Just In, purses and accessories, clay bead jewelry, and more. And once again, the largest selection of fall decor and colors in the entire region, all at the seasonal shop.
Howdy, Hatfield. I reckon I'll take my pig back.
Ain't your pig.
Yeah, it is.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is, and I can prove it. Ma, I just sent a picture of our missing pig. Tell everybody it's time to start feuding.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I guess ain't gonna be no feud. Real nice picture, though.
We'll put it on Instagram.
Appalachian Wireless is 4G. Great pictures, video, text, and talk. Bigger savings, better service. That's today's Appalachian Wireless.
Now for our other top story this evening, one I suspect a lot of folks have been anxious to see after I put that little teaser out there at the top of the program for hunters and outdoorsmen. I can't say this is the first story of its kind that I've covered here. In fact, a few years ago, a lady came through Sayersville. She may have been from Johnson County, if my memory serves me correct. She had won a tag or ticket, if you will, in the elk lottery and had bagged her an elk. We had actually a couple, I think, on the trailer that we were able to take some pictures of. Pretty safe to say, from my recollection, that neither of them would have measured up to this one. This bull elk was bagged this morning by a local man, and it wasn't with a gun.
And it wasn't with his car either, which is something a lot of us probably have a bigger fear of now more than ever. Ollie Rose, one of the owners of Buddy's Produce there next to Dairy Queen on the Parkway, well, he, 20 minutes, because he had such a busy day, the day that the deadline was coming up at midnight, 20 minutes before the midnight deadline, got his name in the hat, so to speak, for drawing to get an elk tag. You know, only about 1,000 tags given out for bull and cow, and only 100 bull archery tags were issued, and he was lucky enough to get one. And with one shot of his bow, yesterday, bagged this big animal.
I got him in Martin County.
Run down the time frame of the hunt and where you guys were and played out for me.
Heard him bugling about probably 9:30 that morning. Just a slow stalk, crawling and digging to try to get up to him, and he finally stood up at about 27 yards and drawed the bow, and the rest was history as far as that part went.
We
about
talked
11:15, I guess.
We spoke a minute ago about your nerves before and after the shot.
Yeah, I was nervy when I first seen him, but I had plenty of time to calm down. But now after the arrow was released, I couldn't even dial my cell phone to call Dad to tell him where it was at. A bunch of friends, there's 6 or 7 of us. He was up on a hillside, and we all tied ropes to him and just started dragging him downhill, probably about 200 yards to finally get him down to where we could load him. Well, we're going to get him down here and cape him out and get the head and mount to the taxidermist, and then we're going to work the meat up and package it, and freeze it. We've got a lot of friends that we're going to share with this winter, so we'll all be eating good. You included. You'll have to try some of this. One of the big things is they actually have 2 ivory molars in the top of their mouth that I didn't know about. But a lot of the hunters, when they get them, they pull those. That's what I'm very interested in seeing that. And it's just amazing to me, I guess, that they shed these antlers like this every year and grow them back every year and get that big.
Yeah, that is truly something else.
Yeah, truly something else. Now, he hasn't measured it. It's called a 6x6, 6 points on each side, and they hadn't even gotten time to measure it. It was field dress. They were taking it to go ahead, as you heard, get the meat ready and the head to the taxidermist. It had been in a cooler overnight, but certainly a massive animal. We're figuring got to be in the neighborhood of 800 or 1,000 pounds. And just in case you missed it, he was lucky enough to win one of 100 bull archery tags. Yes, that means that he took this large animal down with his bow. He'd been out 2 days, a few hours on the second day when he saw the elk, and he literally did describe to me how nervous he was. Those nerves worked off as he approached and kind of had to walk his way towards the animal, which was laying down at the time. But the closer he got, the animal stood up, and then the excitement that ran through his veins after he'd realized what he had accomplished as a hunter was so overwhelming that he could literally just barely dial the phone. How's that for a big story? A special thank you to Ollie and his dad for sharing that with us and letting us talk to him about his big hunt there. That's a pretty impressive story, to say the very least. One I hope I never encounter standing in the middle of the roadway. With that said, it's about time for me to bug out of here, but not before your Licking Valley RECC forecast that has us running out of steam. This gorgeous weather is going to take the day off tomorrow, a low of 56 degrees tonight. We topped out right at 80 degrees here at the newsroom. It was brief, and it's right at 76 here at this hour if you're watching the early program. Just a beautiful, beautiful day. Like I said, gorgeous weather takes the day off tomorrow. Those skies becoming mostly cloudy tonight will continue to be so tomorrow. This next system rolls in and combines with the moisture from the Gulf, and it gives us a good chance of some showers and thunderstorms, and we'll see that throughout most of the day, at least a chance thereof. We're going to get in on the action tomorrow. I believe that for sure. But I also believe that after tomorrow, we're back to the same old. Just that, that boring old, beautiful, sunny, nice, comfortable weather. 76, mostly sunny on your Thursday as we recover very nicely. A low of 53, pretty much just like today, nearly as far as forecast terms are concerned. So if you enjoyed today, well, wait one and then you'll get another one. Friday, more the same, getting close to 80, 78 degrees for your high, 52 for your low. Sunny, clear across the board. And without further ado, drum roll, please. Here's your weekend for you. After Friday night football under some beautiful weather, you're going to get a treat this weekend. Sunshine above Saturday, flirting with 80 degrees, clear skies continuing that night, and a low of 54. The only word of warning would be a little patchy fog before 8 a.m. on Saturday. We'll also get in on that Thursday night and into your Friday as well. But nevertheless, a gorgeous weekend lies ahead. Not getting out of the 70s on Sunday either. Mostly sunny, 76 degrees for the high, 58 for the low. We do get in on a chance, albeit a relatively slight one, of some late showers on Sunday. As of right now, does not appear to be anything that will mess with your weekend plans whatsoever. And in fact, we've still got partly sunny skies and the low 70s starting us off next week. And we might be stuck in that trend for a while as we get ready to bring in October on Tuesday. Well, who knows what we'll have in store there. Maybe That's a bad joke. I'm not even going to say it. No, that's just a bad joke. Too early to mention that word. That's it for now. That's my time. Thank you all for being a part of the program. As I said earlier, a whole lot of news to get to this week and tomorrow. We are planning on having a major update on a major story with our retired Marine Corps Sergeant Chuck Lewis. So tune in for that and other news when I see you then. Good night. Thanks for watching, everybody.